Okay, let's take a look at a couple of solutions to our compositional challenge that you've been working on. Here, I've opened up our nice sunset image inside of the library, inside of Lightroom, and I love to use Lightroom for cropping iterations because it's very easy to make multiple virtual copies of images and apply different crops to them. So the first thing we're going to do is create a virtual copy by going Command or Control and then hitting the apostrophe key to make a virtual copy. You can tell a virtual copy because that little tab in the lower left-hand corner. And let's just go right to the Develop module and go right to the Crop tool. And let's just do a quick overall analysis of our image to see what portion of the image we'd like to concentrate on. Notice we have our three compositional elements, our sand, our water, and our sky. So we're less than 4, and each of these elements is internally pretty simple, right? There's not a lot of complexity there. And when we think about the separation of the elements, well, we've got pretty well separated elements. The beach, the water, and the sky are pretty well separated. And in terms of having a prime element in the image, I think the sky probably qualifies for that. Remember, if we wanted to, we can emphasize one over the other with a little bit of brightness and contrast, but I think we're good to go overall. Now we want to kind of look at asymmetry and eye lines. The point of view is not going to be changing here during our cropping process, but if we were setting up a camera to shoot this image, we would pay attention to that point of view. All right, so let's move forward. One of the first things you'll want to do whenever you're working on a landscape like this that has a horizon line is let's make sure that horizon line is nice and straight before we go any further. So let's take our horizon line tool. It looks like it's tilted just a little bit, but sometimes it's hard to see. But when we take that line across there, boom, yep, we can see it was tilted just a little bit. Now it's nice and level. All right, then from here, and remember this was an 8.5 by 11. So if you're working in Lightroom or Photoshop, both of these offer you the ability to go to your crop tool and choose a predetermined ratio, in this case 8.5 by 11, which is what we want. That way we know that whatever we do with our crop is going to fit right in that 8.5 by 11 output. So once we choose that, and then you can see the active area, then we can adjust the size and the ratio remains the same. So we wanted to kind of take out that gray area of the sky. So let's crop it down here. And once you can get kind of close to what you initially want, then you can move the image within that crop. So we can fine-tune this area. I want to make sure that none of that gray sky ends up in the interior of our image. So let's take this as kind of an initial crop and take a look at it. Still, we've got our three elements. This one is not particularly good right here just because this horizon line is so close to the middle. We could adjust this and move it like this a little bit so that we move that horizon line down just a little bit. So let's just do that, say, as an initial crop and apply that and see how we like that. Well, we've got our three elements. They're all pretty simple. It's nice. But this horizon line is just too close to the center of the image for me. So we'll start that as an initial one. Let's make another virtual copy. We'll move that over here. And let's go right to the crop tool. And let's try this again. We'll go right to 8.5 by 11. And we'll square up our horizon line. And let's try this other corner of the image down here. See if we like that a little bit better in terms of our compositional elements. If we bring this down here, we have a very nice area of the sky, a little bit more detail. The horizon line is still a little bit too close to center here. All right. And, I'd like to have a little bit more of the beach in there. So I'm going to move this over here so I get a little bit more beach. Keep moving it over and down a little bit. I'd like to move this horizon line close to maybe this 1/3, of the rule of thirds to get a little bit more sky because that's going to be our primary compositional element. So we can adjust the position of this and the position of the horizon line till we end up with exactly what we want. And we go through as many iterations as we want to. And the nice thing about Lightroom is once you have 2, 3, 4, 5 iterations, you can select them all in library mode, click the N key, and you can compare all of them. Here's the original, here's our first one, and then here's the third one that we made. And this has got better overall asymmetry, doesn't it? Here, the horizon line was a little bit too close to the center, way too close to the center. This one is much better. We still end up with a nice beach eye line around here. And our primary image element here, the sky, and we've got some nice room for type. So lots of variations or lots of opportunities here to create a variety of different crops.